Good day and welcome to another exciting edition of the P&B Sports Show. I'm your host, Aaron Tom, and if you love the game of football, you are in the right place at the right time. Today we are dissecting a night of pure footballing madness from the shores of the Caspian Sea, where Newcastle went on a historical rampage to a 6-goal thriller in Belgium that left Karabakh stuck. And of course, we head to Moneylocks, where the Premier League title race took another dramatic heart-stopping twist. Joining me virtually to break down every blade of grass, our brilliant in-house tactical mastermind and my boss, Abel Sunday. Abel, great to have you.
Thank you. Good morning. You said a big name, the key of what kind of name you are passing on? I beg you, please.
Okay. Okay, so I should call you Bingo. No problem. I can call you Bingo, but I'm going to be heading on to the next person. Also joining us virtually all the way from the heartbeat of football in Benin City, football lover, coach and sports analyst, and a man who knows the pulse of the fans. Ero John, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Tom. It's a pleasure to be with you once again. Good morning, Mr. Abel.
Good morning, Brown Sports.
You know, you are a person that talks about big names, Abel, but you always give everyone big names. Well, let's get right into it. You know, the UEFA Champions League, it has been fantastic. We've seen a lot of drama. We've seen a lot of goals, from day before yesterday to last night. And one thing that stunned a lot of people last night was the 6-1 win that Newcastle had. I'm going to start with you, Abel. What does this say about Newcastle? Is Newcastle looking to retain something that a lot of people have underestimated them about in the UEFA Champions League? That a lot of people have underestimated them about in the UEFA Champions League?
Well, I will be very brief on Newcastle have answered all the questions already. So I will with their performances. I will very, very effective. And I think 6-1 win against them. It was, in fact, that was a statement. And already, I think, from my own opinion, though, I think it is already game over. But you can never say never. This is football. But with 6-1 win come on, going to the second leg at St. James's Park, I think it's game over. And of course, the standout performance for me in that game against Anthony Gordon, who scored up to 4 goals. Hat-trick at the first half, it was fantastic. Then we'll now have somebody like Malik Chow and Jacob Murphy, who also added the remaining. I'm telling you, Newcastle half was fantastic last night, and you could see the beauty of football. And of course, we saw this coming when they did that against PSG, draw against PSG. You could see how those guys play. They meant business, honestly. I said I will not say so much. Their performance already, I've said it all. Newcastle were fantastic yesterday. I will just get to do the icing of the cake next week.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Ero, it seems like Karabakh looked extremely stunned by what Newcastle had to offer. As a coach, what will you tell your players, and how are you going to set up your defense against a side like Newcastle? Take note, it's like we see a lot of mistakes, we see a lot of turnovers, we see a lot of lost balls in the UEFA Champions League, but that's something that we are not used to seeing in the English Premier League. What does this say, and how are you going to, adjust your defense playing a side like Newcastle?
There's not so much you can do for a team like Karabakh when it's Newcastle, because they are obviously a better side than Karabakh. You saw that the match prepared yesterday. But what will I do about my defense when I want to play a team like Newcastle? I'm just going to try as much as possible and do what the category of 2003 for back the defense, have as much as 2 to 3 center defenders in the game, have as much as 2 to 3 looking for in the game. That way you reduce their intensity, you reduce their pressure. There is not so much you can do, sincerely. There's not so much you can do as a coach. And all these things, the quality of players matters also. You can arrange all the tactics in the world, but then again, you need good players to help you execute and implement these tactics. And I think that's one thing Newcastle is a better side for. So, as a coach, all I'm going to do is just to try as much as possible to overload the midfield position, have as much as 2 standing midfielders who are helping a 4-man defense line, and that makes them about 6 when we are defending. I think that's the only way they can, to a point, neutralize the attacking chemistry of Newcastle. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Like Abel said, there's one player that stood out, Gordon. Anthony Gordon was fantastic with the way he played against Karabakh. I think he's the fastest English player to score a hat-trick in the UEFA Champions League with 3 goals in 33 minutes. Don't you think that he is one of the most underrated forwards in Europe at the moment, Eru? Or is it just because he's playing Karabakh?
I beg to differ. He's not underrated. Whatever you see people talk about him, that's where he is. There's one thing about English players, I will always say it. I have a personal vendetta against them. Yes, I'm speaking as Ero John. I have a personal vendetta. I also watch the English media for the next 2 weeks. That will be their headline. They have nothing else to discuss about. We'll dwell on it. This player, 90, he's a good player, but then he's inconsistent. I personally don't rate him. I'm not going to lie. I don't rate him. I know there was a time that Chelsea head over heels for him. He's good. I can't take that away from him. He's a good player, but I think where he is now is where he needs to be. He's at the perfect place right now. He had a very good day yesterday. I'm not going to take that away from him. Congratulations to him. But I don't think he's underrated, like you said. No, he's not underrated. The hype he's getting is what he deserves. I don't at some point think that we are doing much more than we should do for him.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, it seems like since you say we are doing more than what you think we should do for him, we are going to continue doing it. And that brings me over to you, a hat trick as well. And Trippier, the captain of the Newcastle team, he said, come on, you cannot come on after having a hat-trick and say you want to take on a penalty when we have people on our team that need this particular goal, to help them boost their own confidence. In the team, a player like Nick Waltmade, and a lot of people have reactions everywhere concerning that. Come on, if you have a hat-trick, Abel, don't you think that you should just let somebody that has not had a goal in quite some time have his feel of the ball to boost his confidence?
Yeah, that spirit of should I say sportsmanship? If I don't need that the right word to use, because I think you having 3 goals. Oh, come on, if it were 2, then you wanted to make it hat-trick. That would have been understandable. But since you have hat-trick already, come on, give it up. Because I've almost seen some persons after scoring brace, they give it to another person to even go and score. You get go to the line and go and score the PK. It doesn't matter. But you try to get the 4th one. I don't know if he's looking for the golden boot at the end of the season. I don't know that. But I think for him to struggle that with his captain, I think that is really not unacceptable. There's no teamwork there. There's no spirit. You are not even looking out for your teammates. Considering the fact that even those goals you score, it's contribution of your teammates that made you score those goals. So why holding on to because you want to score for 2 months?
I think I saw a comment on social media where somebody said he might not get a goal like this in quite some time. Well, so why doesn't he continue, to move on in history so that nobody breaks that title that he has been able to create 4 goals, Or are you going to say, you know what? I'm a Chelsea fan. And I think Chelsea have been performing well, below Manchester United in the EPL, and they might prove everyone wrong.
I don't think you can say, because Newcastle beats Karabakh, then they are up there for I don't take Newcastle, the Newcastle of this. I'm not just speaking as a Chelsea fan, I'm speaking from a general perspective. I don't see Newcastle. As a matter of fact, I would prefer to play Newcastle than to play Barcelona or PSG at this point in time. You can say Karabakh is a team that every other English Premier League team will become because they would have beaten Karabakh since they're speaking. Is it Manchester City? Is it Arsenal? Is it Chelsea? They would have beaten Karabakh. So Karabakh is not a team. In essence, what I'm trying to say is, actually, all of us know how inconsistent Newcastle have been this season. We have discussed Newcastle before on this show. we can't say, oh, because they beat Caravan, another inconsistent team that is not so up there in the end. We can't say, oh, they are back in form. They are now a team to beat. No. Let us watch them play 3, 4 more games. And then we cannot begin to have that conversation that, oh, I think that. So, as at now, I still don't fret one bit. Bring home Newcastle. We are ready to play.
Wow, that comes from an astute Chelsea fan. You know, when it comes to the professorship and the PhD. But now we're going to be moving to the Jan Brendel Stadium, where Club Brugge held Atletico Madrid to a draw. You know, after an amazing performance at the beginning of the match from Atletico Madrid. You know, I do not know what the problem is with Atletico Madrid. What do you think about these players, Abel? How do you think they've performed so far, especially with the standout goal from Ademola Lookman and also the goal from Raphael Onyedika and the assist from Raphael Onyedika as well? What do you think about this?
Well, yesterday, as a Super Eagle fan, I enjoyed the game.
Yes. I'm going to stop you there. Our viewers should take note. I'm going to stop you there. Our viewers should take note that Abel is a sports analyst and a football analyst that does not support any club side. He only supports the Super Eagles and Super Eagles players. So you can continue, Abel.
As a Super Eagles fan, I enjoyed that game. Why? Because two of my players did so well. Ademola Lookman, fantastic. Saw the second goal. He was, but I thought one thing with the Severny side. I thought that after that 2-0 lead, they would just bury that game. How can you throw away two goals away like that? And you are not even, you are playing away. You get just after getting 2 goals, just throw those games away. But kudos to Raphael Onyedika that brought back the spark of the group. You will see what the massive pushing, struggling for a fight for every ball. You will see Raphael Onyedika, he was fantastic. And he got that goal and he brought them back. But you were needing to, I think they got up to 8. Is it 88 minutes or 80? Like something in I beg your pardon. I cannot remember. But close to the end of the game,
89th.
They got the equalizer. Yeah, thank you. They got 89 minutes. They got the equalizer, and that was a stab in there was no his heart because you've already won this game. Just carry your 3 points back home and know that nothing. But again, you can never say never. It's still a good one for Diego Simeone because he's playing at home next week. So probably he might just seal it. But I think he would have done the whole job right there away. Then coming back home, he just set it up and see how he can finish up too. But kudos to Ademola Lookman and also Raphael Onyedika, fantastic players.
One thing I'm going to take note of, I think when they go to Atletico Madrid, you know, their home, it might be a different story because those fans are noisy. Those fans bring in the heat. But Ero, I'm going to come to you. It seems like Diego Simeone, he has not been able to keep a clean sheet in 9 straight UCL matches. Ero, what is the problem? Because this is a man that is known for his defensive strategy. They call him Cholo Simeone, you know, because he's a defensive master. But right now, it seems like his defense is like a sieve. You know, when you put rice in a bowl of sieve and you pour water and it just keeps on pouring and leaking. What do you think about his defense so far?
Okay, before I answer your question, Mr. Abel, I was expecting that you do give away today, considering Ademola Lookman and performance. But that will be for later. Okay, to answer you, you know, I said something earlier when I was talking about Newcastle, and I think that's the same problem Atletico Madrid they are experiencing. You see, there's something about tactics, and there's something about quality of players. The Atletico Madrid side that Diego Simeone is managing now, where in his defense team, you have the likes of Fubil, you have the likes of Anko, Ruggeri, Monila. You can't compare them to the days of Miranda. You can't compare them to the days of Felipe Luis. Those were dogged soldiers. Those were dangerous players. Those were players that were ready to take their life. As a matter of fact, the only brutal players in that squad right now, they are of age. That's of a Koki. The goalkeeper and all that is getting older. So even if he tends to deploy the same tactics again and again, when the kind of players is getting to the game, But then I think the problem is with the quality of players. One, I'm not saying they are bad players. They don't get me out of context. I'm not saying they are not good enough. They are not good players. I just think that considering the way he plays, tactics he deploys, these players at this time still do not have the full grasp of it. They are not brutal. They are not there up there mentally enough to keep up with this kind of play. And then football has evolved over time. You see, teams have a way of. I told you something before. I said even while I was still having team Nico, if I have an opponent to play in a tournament, I go back to what I watch their game before mine. I tend to find the loopholes, I tend to find the weak links, and I have to capitalize on that. At some point in time, you don't go to a game with your own tactics. You go with the weak link of your opponent's tactics. And I think this is one thing that teams have managed to do against Atletico Madrid. Everybody already has this subconscious that Atletico Madrid, oh, they're a defensive team. They're going to come to this team and they're going to sit back. So go all out.
Okay, Arrow. Errol, sorry, time is against us, so we have to, move on to the next thing. And this one, if I don't ask you, I won't be happy. We are going to be seeing Atletico Madrid heading home to play. Who do you think has the psychological strength, to take on that match, especially with the kind of performance that we saw a club, we saw a Brugge side that that now know that they can actually have a comeback. They can outplay Atletico Madrid if they will it. And also we have an Atletico Madrid that will be at home, and they have the home turf on their side. Who do you think is going to take it?
I still think Atletico Madrid to take it. The reason is because if not for the silly mistakes on their part, they were already dominating Club Brugge. Even in their own home soil, they were already doing the damage to the Brugge. It was just as a couple of some mistakes and then the intensity and resilience of the Brugge that helped them. And also, like you mentioned earlier, there's a 12th man in football, the fans. Atletico Madrid, they are not noisy people, they are intimidating. So I think that will also play a factor.
Okay.
I think Atletico Madrid will get that before.
Okay. Now, Abel, give us scoreline prediction for the second leg, Club Brugge and Atletico Madrid.
I would say 2-1.
2-1.
2-1. Atletico Madrid wins. 2-1.
Aaron, give us some predictions. Drum roll.
Atletico Madrid 3-2.
Atletico Madrid 3-2. Fantastic. Well, right now we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we are going to be moving to the money locks. We are the last person on the English Premier League table held the number 1 spot to a draw. Don't go anywhere, because P&B Sports Show, we'll be right back. Welcome back to P&B Sports Show. Well, finally, in the Premier League, Arsenal were cruising at money locks with a 2-1 lead. Saka and Hincapié had them 2-0 up. But Wolves, the basement side, the last team on the table, fought back. What does this say about the Arsenal side and their campaign to win the English Premier League? Abel.
So I remember we spoke about this before the game started, and you said, "Oh, it's not possible." Arsenal has domination. I told you, nothing is impossible. And for a Wolves side that don't have nothing to do, Wolves have just 9 points in 20. How many games? 26 games. 9 points. They have nothing to already. They are relegated already. There's no two ways about it. They have nothing to lose. They have to come out. But for Arsenal side that will have 2-0 lead and just tweeting is a shame, honestly, to Arteta. And I said this earlier, even with January, when we were saying that, rather you were saying that Arsenal has run away with the league. That sport is on.
Please stop putting words in my mouth and saying you stop quoting me, because I don't remember saying any of this. Bring video evidence or bring audio evidence, and if you bring audio evidence, I will tell you that it is artificial intelligence. Okay, Arrow, hold on, Abel. Since you decided to set me up, let me move on to Arrow, Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka played, the number 10th role and scored within 5 minutes. Is this his best position for the title running?
Not at all. His best position remains the wing.
His best position still remains the wing. Abel, I want to get your own opinion. We saw Tom Edozie come on for his debut and he scored at the 94th minute equalizer. As a coach, what do you say to a teenager before playing a game like this? What are you going to tell him to boost his confidence?
I'll tell him that no pressure, just go and do your thing. I'm not expecting anything from you. Go there, enjoy yourself, just go and do your thing. And of course, if you don't put much pressure on such a player, definitely it's going to deliver. There's no two ways about it.
Okay, fantastic. It seems like we've seen a fantastic match from Wolves. A lot of people have not expected this performance from them. I think we've seen Wolves hold Arsenal to a 2-2 draw at home. We've seen them hold Nottingham Forest 0-0. We've seen them hold Newcastle United 0-0. We've seen them hold Everton 1-1. We've seen them hold Manchester United 1-1. We've seen them hold Brighton. Fantastic. But we've seen them hold Brighton 1-1. We've seen them also hold Tottenham Hotspur. What do you think gives them this confidence, Ero? Do you think it's because they know that they have nothing? Yes, I can hear you. Continue our discussion on the English Premier League. So don't go anywhere, because P&B Sports Show, we'll be right back. Ero, welcome back to P&B Sports. I'm your host, Aro Khotom. Ero John, can you hear me now?
Yes, clear.
Why do you think the Wolves have been performing like this in 1 minute? Do you think that it's because they do not have anything to lose? So it just helps them, when they're on the pitch, they are like, if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. So we're going to go all out and try to see how we can take this game.
Okay, let me just answer you in 30 seconds. My late father used to tell me something then before he died. He would tell me that the man you should fear most in the battleground is not the man that is most dangerous. He will tell you that the man you should fear most is the man that has nothing to lose. That's the man you should fear most, because he is willing to do anything and everything. I said it on this show sometime that always in the second half of the season, the bottom teams, the teams that their relegation is almost certain or is certain, those are the things you should fear the most, because at that point in time, there's nothing they are fighting for, there's nothing they are dragging. If they lose, it is another day at the office. If they draw, they are just out there to cause an upset. And that's what we are seeing from the Wolves presently. And their draw yesterday made them have 10 points in over 25 games. They already know that they are going to the championship. There are no two ways about it. There's no miracle out of that. So all they are after now is to cross an upset against the two teams. So I not anything that came against them right now, to tread carefully.
Okay.
Because you are playing against a wounded lion who has nothing to you.
Okay, fantastic. Abel, the Wolves are at the bottom of the table. Do you think that this particular performance against Arsenal is the spark that they need to ignite them and push them up to make sure that they do not get relegated?
Well, I think that spark is coming too late because they have just 13 games to go, and at 13 games, how many points? That's approximately 30-something points. They need 40 points also to go above relegation. So I don't think that spark. I think that spark came a very too late. It's not possible that they can get 12 games. That's secondly for Arsenal to drop point at this time. Looking at Man City breathing behind their asses, I think it's a whole lot for Arteta to think about. 5 points now at the top of it, and mind you, Man City have a game at hand. So I just pray that Arsenal is able to get out of this.
Okay, situation. Fantastic. Ero, the next match.
There's no way out for happen.
The next match.
Is that what?
He said there's no way out for Arsenal. But the next match, Arsenal will be playing the Tottenham Hotspurs in the North London derby. Ero, do you think that they can play Tottenham the right way? Do you think that they can win that match against the Tottenham Hotspur side? Or do you think it might just be another draw in the bag?
In football, you can never say never. So yes, I think they can play Tottenham. I think they can defeat Tottenham. But then there's just one thing. There's this player that the new coach syndrome. What Manchester United is enjoying right now. I think. And
what Chelsea is enjoying right now.
Exactly. What Chelsea? I don't know why you're asking me to care about Manchester United. What Chelsea?
So just briefly, do you think that they can take on that game?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to come to you, Abel. Abel, do you think that Arsenal can actually win this season with Manchester City breathing below them?
I just hope so, because now the pressure is more intense. So I just hope so that they can manage it, because the way it is, I think it's kind of blessing in disguise, because Manchester City are not their best form.
Okay.
But seeing them this close, and anything make them to drop that game against Tottenham next, honestly, just put
okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, our own in-house sports analyst and the mesh Sunday. Also, thank you, the abracadabra of sports, Ero John, for your insights and sports analysis today from the UEFA Champions League to the English Premier League. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, and it's my pleasure.
Well, time is not on our side, and it seems that time flies when football is this good. A massive thank you once again to Abel Sunday for the tactical insights, and Ero John for bringing our Benin City energy to the studio today. Folks, the title race is heating up, and the Champions League is throwing us curveballs we never saw coming. Make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms and handles for more match analysis on YouTube at Politics&BusinessTV.English, on Facebook at Politics&BusinessTV.English, on Instagram at PNBTV_English, and on X, formerly Twitter, at PNBTV_ENG. I have been your host, Ayoko Tom, and this is P&B Sports Show, where we don't just report the game, we live it. See you next time, and keep the passion alive.